Ancestral Echoes, a blueprint for healing your intergenerational spiritual lineage. Introduction: the unseen inheritance. There exists a pervasive, often unspoken feeling that one's life is influenced by forces beyond personal experience. It is the lingering shadow of a sadness that is not entirely one's own, a recurring pattern of fear or financial struggle that feels older than a single lifetime. These are the echoes of the past, carried in the body and spirit, a profound and complex inheritance from those who came before. This report serves as a blueprint for understanding these phenomena, defining the concepts that underpin this unseen reality, and outlining a transformative journey to liberate the self and one's lineage. At the core of this exploration are two foundational concepts: ancestral echoes and intergenerational spiritual lineage. Ancestral echoes are the multi-generational presence of our forebears, a continuing imprint of their experiences that resonates through time. Their presence is felt not only in physical resemblances, shared talents, or family heirlooms, but also in the wisdom, guidance, and spiritual support they offer from beyond the physical realm. When a connection with this lineage is consciously nurtured, it can profoundly enrich the living, offering a powerful sense of belonging and a deeper self-understanding. This report, however, delves beyond the simple recognition of ancestral presence to explore the complexities of our intergenerational spiritual lineage. This lineage is a synthesis of the emotional, psychological, and energetic imprints passed down through generations. It is a dual inheritance of both burdens and blessings, a deep-seated tapestry of beliefs, behaviors, and coping mechanisms that shape how individuals think, act, and connect with the world. The purpose of this journey is to gain a deeper understanding of this inheritance, to navigate its complexities, and to recognize that while a person may not be responsible for the patterns that have been passed down, they possess the agency to transform their influence on the present and future. The healing journey is a path of liberation, offering the chance to step out of limiting cycles and reclaim a sense of clarity, purpose, and peace. Part 1. The Roots of Our Being: Understanding the Inheritance. To embark on this journey, one must first comprehend the origins of the patterns that define their lineage. The transmission of these echoes is not confined to a single domain, but is a multifaceted process that operates on both scientific and spiritual levels. This section illuminates the psychological and biological mechanisms of inherited trauma and explores the spiritual dimensions of ancestral connection, reconciling seemingly contradictory perspectives. The scientific tapestry: how trauma is passed down. Modern research is increasingly providing a scientific framework for what many ancient traditions have long understood. Trauma can be inherited. The effects of profound life experiences are not merely historical events. They are absorbed into the very fabric of our being, leaving an enduring mark. Epigenetics and cellular memory. The field of epigenetics offers a compelling biological explanation for the inheritance of trauma. Epigenetics studies how environmental factors can alter gene expression without changing the underlying DNA sequence. The research indicates that the protein sheath wrapped around a person's DNA can hold the scars of traumatic events survived by their ancestors, such as famines, wars, or genocides. This means the impact of past events can be visibly observed in the body at a cellular level, demonstrating that inherited trauma is not just a psychological or emotional concept, but a biological one as well. Landmark studies, such as those on the descendants of Holocaust survivors, have demonstrated how these epigenetic changes can manifest as a heightened susceptibility to depression, anxiety, and nightmares in future generations. This scientific evidence provides a tangible bridge between the seemingly abstract concept of a spiritual burden and the concrete reality of a biological inheritance. The psychological and spiritual concepts of inherited burdens and cellular memory are in this sense different languages describing the same phenomena. This reevaluation of the mechanism of inheritance transforms the subject from one of abstract belief to a verifiable and embodied reality, making the urgency and potential of the healing work all the more apparent. The psychological framework, attachment, and family systems. Beyond cellular memory, the transmission of inherited patterns also occurs through psychological and relational dynamics. The emotional landscape of a family, shaped by past traumas, is often unconsciously passed down. Attachment theory provides a lens for understanding how inherited trauma can disrupt the very foundation of a person's relational life. When parents and caregivers have unresolved trauma, they may struggle to consistently share their experiences or express emotions in a healthy manner. This emotional dysregulation can lead to insecure or disorganized attachment patterns in their children, who, in turn, may find it difficult to form secure bonds later in life. This can create a cycle where unhealthy relational dynamics, such as conflict avoidance or explosive outbursts, are repeated across generations. The phenomenon of parentification, where a child must assume a level of responsibility beyond their developmental capacity to manage their parents' emotional burdens, is a clear example of this transference. Furthermore, family systems theory explains that family patterns are not random habits, but deeply ingrained survival mechanisms forged in response to stress and historical circumstances. A family that avoids conflict might have developed this pattern to maintain peace during a time of great external upheaval. These patterns, while once serving a purpose, can become rigid and limiting in a different context, leaving family members unable to express emotions or connect authentically. Recognizing these inherited patterns is an empowering act. It helps an individual understand their reactions and provides a roadmap for change, even when the work feels like carrying the weight of an entire family's history. The spiritual nexus, ancestors and their role. Parallel to the scientific and psychological perspectives, many spiritual traditions view ancestral lineage as a source of both profound gifts and complex burdens. The relationship with our ancestors is considered a cornerstone of spiritual vitality and a key to accessing deeper wisdom and guidance. Ancestors as both burden bearers and blessings. The influence of one's lineage is not simply a matter of inherited pain. It is a mixed bag of both positive and negative themes, including strengths, weaknesses, aptitudes, and shortcomings. A core aspect of this work involves recognizing that a person's being holds the gifts of all the positive themes that run through their family lines, as well as the challenges of the negative ones. By connecting with our ancestors, a person can access their accumulated wisdom and support, which can lead to a greater sense of belonging and a deeper self-understanding. The ultimate goal of ancestral healing is to transform old wounds into blessings, allowing individuals to reclaim the strengths and gifts of their lineage. The paradox of unwell ancestors. Many spiritual traditions introduce the concept of unwell or troubled ancestors, spirits who died with unresolved trauma stored in their bodies, which can result in a state of soul fragmentation. These unwell dead are prevented from being fully integrated into the collective body of wellness that is the realm of the ancestors. This spiritual framework provides a clear explanation for why the living may continue to feel the burdens of the past. The lingering energy and unprocessed grief of these ancestors can impact their living descendants, influencing their beliefs, behaviors, and well-being. The healing work is therefore understood as a reciprocal process where the living, in their liberation, also assist their ancestors in finding peace and integration. The great paradox: spiritual lineage versus physical descent. A point of potential friction and confusion arises when the concept of spiritual lineage is examined from a theological perspective. Some religious traditions, such as certain Christian denominations, have rejected the idea that physical lineage is a determinant of one's spiritual standing or salvation. The New Testament, for instance, emphasizes